Hey guys, we're going to start the Adobe Premiere Pro tutorial. I do apologize if this isn't as clear as I can make it. Uh, it's it's going to be a little hard because I don't have any screen recording software on these computers, so I'm having to record the screen. So as you can see, I've got like a camera here, and then I have a separate audio recorder here, and I'm recording with that camera. So this is a little challenging to do. So bear with me while we do this. So let's jump into the computer screen here, and I'll come back to this camera here to show you anything that I think is important for you to know. I don't know yet what I'm gonna do. I think I might just log you all in again, because I think we're gonna have issues with getting started. But on your desktop, you should find a folder that says either First Rally Video Files or Wasco Rally, something to do with the Wasco Rally. In that file, you'll find these three folders: Canon 7D RAW, EOS M RAW, and RAW 5D Mark III. These are what basically this is, that there's three cameras that were used to film, and so I've put them in three different folders. So this is with one of the other cameras, and if you open that folder, you'll see a quick preview of all of the files. And then the EOS M, and then the 5D Mark III. So you're going to want to take a look at that to kind of get an idea of what footage was actually shot. But be mindful, there's probably over an hour and a half worth of video footage from all three cameras or less. So I don't know if you want to spend all your time really watching all of it for that. Well, the first thing you want to do in this tutorial is open up Adobe Premiere Pro. You're going to find Adobe Premiere Pro. It says PR and it's purple. Double click on that with the mouse and you should see it open up. And like I said, this isn't the most recent version of the software, so there's going to be some hiccups here or there, but don't let that get to you. So now we're at this screen here. The first thing you're going to want to do is start a new project. So click New Project. You're going to have some information here. It's going to say video, audio, capture format. You really don't have to worry about any of this information here. The one thing you want to take a look at is the location of where your file is being saved. So under location, you're going to click on Browse. Under here, you're going to see your folder. You'll see your file here. It says period 1, and you should see other periods in there: period 2, period 3, and so forth based on your class. What you're going to do is you're going to click on period 1, and you're going to say make a new folder. It's going to make a new folder underneath that main period. So under that folder, let's try it again. When you click make a new folder, it's going to be highlighted in blue. At this point, what you want to do is rename it to your name. So if your name is John Doe, you're going to call it John Doe. That way we can find out whose name belongs to what. If for some reason you end up seeing new folder, you made a mistake, we can go back and fix that in just a little bit. So you click OK, and then the name, you're going to call it Wasco Rally, and then your name. So Wasco Rally John Doe. So click OK. Then you got to set up your sequence settings. What are you going to export the footage in? What is sort of the recording format that you use? In this case, you'll probably see something like this. And what I want you to do is to click on the little arrow for HDV, which is for HD video. So you're going to click on the little arrow, and you're going to select HDV 1080p 24. This is the particular format and frame rate that was used when we filmed the Wasco Rally. So we want to select that. If you want to, in the future, you want to use a different format, all those formats are listed here, depending on the camera or format you're using. So click OK. And you just leave the name, whatever name it said down there. This this is Adobe Premiere Pro. This is the layout of the software, and it's very difficult to learn this software. It's sometimes very confusing, but I'm going to break it down to you to help you understand what everything here means. Okay, this right here on the right hand side, this dark screen, it's basically your timeline window. This is showing you currently what you've put on your timeline. Your timeline is this area, guys, this area down here. This is your timeline. This area is where you pretty much put and drop all your files that you're working on. It's gonna fall in that section there. On this left hand side over here is your source window. Right here you'll find more of your project files there, and down here on the very left is your media browser. So you're going to try and locate all the files that you're using in this project. So we're going to click on local disk C, users, in this case DA Eusebio for now, and desktop. Okay, I put the files on the actual desktop of the computer, so we're going to click desktop there. And you should see a folder that says Wasco Rally or First Rally Video, okay, or Wasco Rally Video. So click on that box. Then you should see a dialog, some information show up. And if you notice, when you hover over this middle section here, the arrow, your little pointer will turn into double arrows, which allows you to shift this when you left click the mouse. So you're going to want to move that over to help you. Next, you'll see the 3 cameras that were used. Okay, you can either click on whichever. I'll start with this one here, 5D Mark III, and you'll see all these files here. Now, unfortunately, you can't see an actual thumbnail of the file. So what you're going to end up having to do is to actually double-click with your double-click on the actual file that you're looking at, and it's going to show up on your source monitor, your source window. And again, we can move, if you hover in between these windows, you can hover and move things over with the double arrows. After that, there is this little timeline bar right here. If you left click on that little blue item there, it will allow you to scrub through the actual video. So if you're holding that and dragging with the left mouse, it will actually scrub through it. That's a term that we use when you're scrubbing through video footage, so you can get an idea of what you see. Okay, you're scrubbing through that. If you don't like what you see there, you just double click on the next one, the next file down here, and then you go through and scrub again. Okay, so that's how that part works. So let's say, for example, how do you get the footage? How do you take this footage here and put it onto your timeline? Basically what we're doing, guys, is we're taking pieces and pieces and pieces of this video footage, and we're going to put them on the timeline that's down here on the right-hand side, this lower right-hand side here, because that's where we're working. So I'll show you here. I'm going to scrub through this, and let's say I'm going to start here. Let's say this is my starting point. I kind of scrubbed and I said, okay, I'll take this short little clip. What you're going to do is there's this little thing here called an in point. Okay, the mouse is over that right now. It's an in point. If I click on that, it's going to say to the program, this is where I want to start when I'm going to take the footage. So I'm going to drag that blue icon and move it over. Okay, maybe I want to stop there. So let's say I'm good there. That's how much I want. So then I'm going to hit my end point. Okay, set out point. Click on that. And then you see this little gray highlighted area. This tells me that when I pull and drag this footage, that's the section it's going to take. So let me show you. I've set my in point and my out point. I'm going to left click on the picture, okay, on the footage. I'm going to drag it down. Okay, you see that you should see like a mouse show up, or a little hand. I'm going to drag it. I'm dragging that mouse down onto the timeline all the way here and snap it to the very left. You can see you can kind of drag it, snap it to the left. In here, you want to set it to video 1. Okay, video 1. Down here, down at this very bottom here, you can actually zoom in on your timeline. So if you move it to the left, it shrinks your timeline. If you move it to the right, it expands it so you can actually see your footage better. And there'll be an important reason why you want to know that. So let's say I want to get some more footage. So let me scrub through this video, see if there's anything else that I think might be useful. Okay, so the orange guys are doing some action there. So maybe I want to get some of them in the actual video. So I'm going to set my endpoint. So I do it again. I set my endpoint. And then I'm going to move this slider just a little bit to the left. And I say, that's good. That's all I need for my little cut there. Then I'm going to set my out point. Once I've done that, I'm going to click on the picture again. I'm going to left click and hold it. I'm actually holding my mouse down while I'm doing this. I'm going to drag all the way down onto the timeline to video section 1. And I'm going to snap it next to the other video that I was working on. There you go. So now I have 2 clips. Let's keep going along and scrubbing in this video. Okay, maybe I want this clip where this guy is getting ready for the activity. So again, I click the set endpoint, and I'm going to scrub through, and I'm going to say that's good. That's all I need for this shot. Then I'm going to select out point. So I'm going to click on that. Then I'm going to drag my footage. Okay, drag. I literally click and hold and drag onto the timeline to video section 1. So now we can play back the footage. So I want to move this slider here, move it to the middle, and slide this to the left. It's taking too much space there. You can even pull vertically down. So you have a lot of places where you can stretch areas out. To play back the footage, you can either press the playback button right here or hit spacebar. I suggest you learn the shortcut keys, so I would hit spacebar. And then the video starts to play. So did you notice the cut there? So you'll see on your timeline the video is actually playing. So you'll notice when you added that new cut in the footage, it'll change. And then it changed again. So that's how we pull footage from our sources into the timeline inside Adobe Premiere Pro. So that is the first thing I really want you to understand about this, is how to pull and move footage onto here. So for the rest of this assignment, what I want you to do is to go through the video clips in the actual rally. So just click on a new video file. So check it out. I'm down here in my file directory. I've clicked on another one. And I'm just going to scrub through here and say, okay, I'm going to pick this clip right here. I'm going to set my endpoint. I'm going to drag through, drag through, drag through. Say, okay, that's all I needed. That's all I needed in my clip. I'm going to click my out point. I'm going to drag this out and drop it in. And I want you to do that for a lot of the clips until you get to about a minute's worth or a minute and a half's worth of video footage. And just keep scrubbing through, trying to find other footage. And I want you to do this because I really want you to look at all the footage that was taken at the rally, because it's important to actually see everything that happened. So then there's another point I want to start here. I'm going to click on that endpoint. I'm going to scrub through. Okay, use that term. I really want you to start using those terms. Scrub through, hit my out point, drag the footage onto my timeline. That's what we do. Then we can play this back, hit the space bar key. So you're working on your video project. What I want you to do is to continuously go to File, hit Save. And the reason why you want to click Save is these programs tend to crash quite often, so it's very important you hit Save. So let's go to a different camera this time. So I went down here on the left-hand side, first Rally Video Files. Let's say the Canon 7D. That was a different camera. I'll double-click on a file and just kind of scrub through it. And just keep looking through it. I just want you to kind of figure out what footage is available. Okay, so let's say I want this shot here. So I'm going to start right here, set my in point, scrub through for about a few seconds, set my out point, take the footage, drag the footage down onto my timeline. And then you can check your footage that you've moved on there. And that's it. That's how easy it is. Here's another trick I want to show you while you're doing this. If you look at your timeline down here, you can cut and shrink video clips that you're currently working on. The way to do that is, let me do something here just in case. Workspace, reset workspace. Yep. All right, so right here on this footage I just added, it might be too long. Maybe I don't want the footage to be that long. So what you can do is you can trim the actual video footage. So what you do is you take the mouse, make sure you zoom in down here, okay? You zoom in. This shows a little tiny mountain. It says zoom out. This one is zoom in. So when you move this little slider to the right, it's zooming in, and you want to zoom in. Go to the right-hand side of the footage, and you'll see a red bracket show up with double arrows. You're going to move it to the left, okay? By moving it to the left, you're actually trimming the video. And you let go of the mouse while you trim, and that's it. If you want to restore some of that, you just click on the right-hand side here with your left mouse click and drag to the right. Okay? It's just that simple. If you want to add more of the footage, you do that. Also, if you want to move the timeline from up here, you can even drag the little tiny blue icon that's available here to scrub through the timeline that you're working on. Okay, one more quick thing, or a few more quick things is, let's click on a new video file. Let's see what we have here. Okay, that might not work. Let's try another one here. Okay, this looks like a good one. So let's say, for instance, it's only about a second long. Let's check this other one. This is 3 seconds. So for example, let's say you like the footage here, right? That's going on, the action. But maybe you don't want the audio. Maybe you just want the video to be put onto the timeline itself. So what you do is set your in point and drag and scrub, set your out point. Then instead of clicking on the actual picture that you're using, you're going to click on this little icon here for video. It says drag video only. If you hover over it, it says drag video only. Also, you can also just drag audio. You have an option. So let's just drag the video only. So you drag it through, and you'll notice that only half of the timeline space is filled out. You might be saying, well, where's the bottom one? Good question. The bottom is the audio. This little bottom area here is the audio source of the footage above. Because we chose not to take the audio, you don't see it down there. The reason why you might want to do that depends on the situation. Maybe you have background music and you don't need their audio. So that's why you would see something like that. So that's how you would do that. We can also try audio. So let's pull the audio. Little speakers there. You can grab that, and it'll just drag the audio. Notice the audio, it won't show up on the top because that's video. But if you bring it down to the bottom, it'll pull in for audio. Okay, So we can click on this and it'll play the video, but you don't hear anything. But if we go over here, you can hear the audio on this side, but you don't see the video. Okay, and there'll be a reason why you want to do that. So I'm just gonna click. So another thing you can do is if you don't want that video clip, just click on it with the mouse, left mouse, and hit your delete key, and it's gone. Same thing, for example, let's say you're going through your timeline. Let me shrink this down. You're going through your timeline. You're like, well, I don't want this clip of the blue guy. So maybe you want to move it somewhere else. So what you can do is you can click on that, click on it here, and then left mouse click and drag it away to a different location. See that? Then you're going to say, well, now I have this big gap here. How do I fill that in? What you can do is you can left click and highlight everything that you want to move. So I just left click on my mouse and drag through that area. Then I can drag the whole thing and snap it into place, and then take the one with the orange guys and snap that into place, just like that. Okay. On the timeline, it's going to tell you how long your video is, or where you are on your video. If you move this slider to the very end, it's going to say, so far you're at 24 seconds, 24 and 2/10 of a second. So at this point, you're at 24 seconds, basically. Again, what I want you to do is to try and find small clips for about 2 minutes or a minute and a half to 2 minutes worth for your promotional video. So I want you to keep thumbing through all the different clips. Check all three cameras. Okay, there's the 7D, the EOS M. So there's these two other cameras, and I really want you to take a look at the video footage on all of them because they have different scenes from the rally. Okay. And again, it's always great to check the footage and scrub through so you can quickly find information. You know, what footage do you want to use?